Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today we are going to be going through our April TBR, and I feel like that's nuts to say. All of a sudden the year has sped up and we're in April. Spring's here. Thank God. I'm done with winter. I do tend to read a ton of books each month. Like for some reason I've been averaging like 19 to 22 books, which is nuts. Completely nuts. And I think that's really because I've cut out almost all of my TV time. I don't watch TV anymore. You don't realize how much TV you watch until you stop watching it and start reading more. I've been able to just like binge books. While I am going to use my TBR jar to pick out some of my reads for this month, I think I'm going to pick a lot less than I did last month. Even though I read a crazy amount of books, did I read everything on my TBR? No. I think I only have 3 books that we picked out last time. Oh no. I DNF'd 2 of those books from last time. And I just wasn't in the mood for like 3 of them. So like out of 10, maybe 5 weren't read, even though I read 20 something books this month. So what we're going to do a little bit differently, I think, is just pick 6 prompts. And then there's a couple of reading vlogs I want to do next month. I want to start saving and redeeming 6. So that's definitely on my TBR. And then I kind of want to start finishing some series I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy. I have the last book in that trilogy to go, and it's getting so good. So I know that's already going to be on there. I know I want to continue my Zodiac Academy journey with Dark Fae. I want to get back into Zodiac Academy, so that will be on there. Yeah, and there's a couple series I'm in the middle of, and we'll do that in a reading vlog. But so without further ado, let's get into what our picks are going to be for April. A book set in a small town. That leaves us with, we have Catherine Cowles and Sparrow Falls. That's a small town. We have, of course, Elsie Silver. And that's actually a series that I do want to complete. So that would be knocking out 2 birds, 1 stone. I already read Wild Side last month because I just couldn't wait. Couldn't wait, had to do it. I read A Photo Finish and Off to the Races earlier this year. So book 3 is going to be the front runner. And that's in her Gold Rush Ranch series. And this is actually one that I have been so excited to start because this is with that guy that's kind of douchey. It's Mira and Stefan Dalka. And I'm so curious to see how this goes. Yeah, in the first 2 books, he has been like such a pain in the butt and he's been so rude. And the only one he seems to be nice to is the vet Mira. On to book 2. All right, a sports romance with a new sport. The only sports so far that I have read about is hockey, it's a surprise to me that I love hockey romances so much because I don't watch the sport at all. So, and I know there's that Mile High series, but I kind of want to wait for that because they're coming out with new covers and I have them pre-ordered and I have no idea what the new covers are going to look like, but I don't want to buy them just yet. What else have I read? Oh, I've read soccer, romances, and rugby. So that leaves so many sports. I recently got the first 3 books in Kennedy Ryan's series. I don't know what this series is called. It just says a hoops novel. Longshot is book 1. And all I know is it's a basketball romance. So about to pop our cherry into basketball here. So that'll be book 2 on our TBR. Now for book 3. We're going a little romance heavy. So I'm hoping we get something a little different. As I say that, right? As I say that. An epic fantasy. I did say I wanted to finish Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy, and I believe that's considered epic. But there is a series that I have not been able to stop thinking about, and I wasn't ready to jump into another trilogy and start like a whole new series. I was trying to finish series, but I read the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb last year. And while I was reading it, I was so angry. I was so angry and like upset and devastated for these characters. And Fitz Chivalry is the most real character I've ever read. Like his flaws, he has all flaws. They're all flaws, and he doesn't make the decisions they want you to make or that anyone would make. I don't know, maybe I'd make some bad decisions too, but I finished the Farseer trilogy and that was amazing. And to continue into the realm of the Elderlings, that huge like 14, 15 book series, the next one is the Live Ship Traders, and that's a trilogy as well. Book 1 is Ship of Magic, and listen, when the little recommendation at the top is from George R.R. Martin, it says even better than the Farseer trilogy. I didn't think that was possible. You know it's gonna be good. It says Bingtown is a hub of exotic trade and home to a merchant nobility famed for its live ships, rare vessels carved from wizard wood, which ripens magically into sentient awareness. Now the fortunes of one of Bingtown's oldest families rest on the newly awakened live ship Vivacia. For Althea Vestrit, the ship is her rightful legacy. For Althea's young nephew, wretched from his religious studies and forced to serve above Vivacia, the ship is a life sentence. But the fate of the ship and the Vestrits may ultimately lie in the hands of an outsider, the ruthless buccaneer captain Kenneth, who plans to seize power over the pirate isles by capturing a live ship and bending it to his will. I'm really excited about this, and I'm excited to go on a whole new Robin Hobb adventure. Well, I guess ask and we shall receive. What should we ask for this time? I don't know. A book based on a fairy tale. What was I thinking when I wrote this? Usually I write all my prompts for specific books, so it kind of forces me. Okay. I do have some higher fantasy, loosely based on a fairy tale books on my Kindle. I have like a full series of them, and I think that would be fun, but with another epic fantasy with the Robin Hobb book we just picked, and then wanting to finish the Joe Abercrombie. That might be too much high fantasy in 1 month for me because those I don't fly through. Higher fantasy books I cannot fly through like I do a normal romance fantasy or romance or thriller. Like those I will consume in a day. I will fly through them. I don't need to pay attention to every detail. In a higher fantasy book, every detail matters. The details are everything because they're going to come back up later or you're going to need to remember them. So I'm thinking we go with Hooked by Emily McIntyre. It's like we're going to be on the sea quite a bit because I'm reading a current arc, which I think is Death's Kiss. And that is like so phenomenal. And we're based on like the sea and the drowned god and stuff like that. The Live Ship Traders are going to be based on the sea, and now Hooked. What better way to round out our TBR right now than sexy Captain Hook? All right. 2 more. We've got 4. A book that starts with a random letter. Ready to go? So let's see. We're going to spin. X, of course, right? Of all the letters for it to pick, X? I don't even know of a book that starts with. Okay. So we're going to pick again because X isn't a thing. Okay. K. We can work with K. Let's see what we got. So K is harder than it looks. I do have Kingdom of Ash, and you don't know how bad I want to reread that book, but we're going to go with books that I haven't read yet. So I do have 3 books. One of them is part of a trilogy, Kingsbane, and I haven't read book 2 yet, so there's no way I'm getting to book 3. I also have Kid by Jessie Hall that I have not read yet. And when I bought all Jessie Hall's books, I didn't realize that they were going to have heavy substance abuse in them. It's not triggering to me in the way of I can't ever read it. I just have to be like in a good mental space to where like I'm ready to read it. I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood for Kid. What that does lead us to, though, is Kiss of the Basilisk. I have no idea what this is about, except that it's a basilisk shifter. It is a chunky book, though. That's like 500 pages of basilisk shifter. Basilisk. I can't say the word anymore. Say that 10 times fast. It says it's frisky, addictive, unhinged, might be the most fun you'll have reading all year. I'm completely shameless for this book. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out because that's going to be our 5th book. Oh my God, I just read what it said. It says a split or swallow novel. And our last pick out of our TBR jar for the month of April. All right, you've been good to me this month. Give us something good. A book out of my comfort zone. No, we are not reading Jessie Hall, which obviously is out of my comfort zone. Books that come to mind that are out of my comfort zone would be normally sci-fi. I don't read too much sci-fi, so a sci-fi book, which would be Brandon Sanderson's Skyward series or the Red Rising series, but I don't want to start that one yet. That's like diving a little deep. The Naturals is like a true crime YA series where you have kids, like brilliant kids helping, I think it's like the FBI solve cases. So that is something that's slightly out of my comfort zone. But again, that's a 4-book series, and I don't want to jump into another new series when I'm starting another Realm of the Elderling series. Obviously the Jessie Hall books are out of my comfort zone. Not reading those, not in the mood. I do have the Torment duet, which I know is going to be out of my comfort zone, but I'm not in the mood for a duet. Kind of would like it to be a standalone because the rest of my month is heavier. I would love an excuse to do Where's Molly or Phantom by H.D. Carlton, but it's not really in my comfort zone. I just want to read them. I do have Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which I believe they're making into a movie, if I'm correct. I don't know if I'm correct there. And this isn't out of my comfort zone in the sense of like the book in general makes me uncomfortable, because it doesn't, but it's out of my comfort zone in that I wouldn't normally read this type of book. It's about a man, and the last words he remembers are you happy with your life? And when he wakes up, his wife isn't his wife, his child hasn't been born yet, and he's just in a very strange situation because he has this whole new life and he doesn't know which one's real. Is he in a coma right now and he's dreaming up this life, or was he in some type of a coma previously and he just dreamed up his whole previous life with his wife and his kid? And it's like this kind of like messing with your mind situation and making you think. And I don't really normally read those types of books. So I think we're going to go with Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So there we have it. This is going to be our official April TBR. Honestly, I think we have a very good mix of books that are going to keep me entertained all month. And that's just the ones that aren't in a reading vlog that was planned anyways and aren't part of the couple series that I want to finish. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I picked my April TBR. If you stayed for the entire video, what is the book you cannot wait to read this month? If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you enjoyed yourself. I will see you in the next one.